I mean, again, he doesn't know who Gabriel is, right? Because he didn't come from an Abrahamic faith. The people of Mecca were pagan.
Quran is mentioned, if this book was from other than God, they would have found in it many contradictions.
If a book is without contradictions, that has no bearing on whether it comes from God or not. I've had phone books that are inerrant, but I certainly don't think God gave them.
That we believe without understanding.
The brother asked a very important question, that most of the scholars say that listening to music, watching movies, and most of the television programs, they're haram. So how can we have fun? Let me tell you, brother, at the outset, that having fun is permitted in Islam as long as the fun is halal fun.
That the standard narrative has holes in it.
The Prophet tells us because Satan or the devil sleeps over our nostrils. Those who oversleep and not pray Fajr on time, Satan urinates in their
I
ears.
really do think Jesus was crucified and that he really was dead and buried. He thought that he was a son of God in the sense that he was specially chosen by God. I think Jesus really did think he was going to be the Messiah, the future king of Israel. I mean, that is, after all, why they crucified him.
Hello everyone, and peace of Christ to all of you. Today our topic is very important. Please invite your friends. And don't forget to download the video, because as you know, we don't keep our videos. And people, they complain. Why? You know why. As you see in the title, is about what can Jesus do and Allah cannot do. In front of me, there is a Muslim website, islamweb.net. And this is where Muslim, they ask the sheikhs, and I think it's sponsored by the terrorist of the Prince of Qatar. Fatwa number 63472. Fatwa mean opinion according to Islam, according to the religion. So those who they have authority, the big sheikhs, they are giving the answer. Someone asked question here. What is the purpose of Allah creating Isa by a word, which is be, and what is the purpose from all the miracles he was given? And do Allah teaching change by time? And is the work that Jesus he did, or Isa did, make Allah work, false work? I think what he meant, because supposedly Jesus, according to Muslims, he was not successful, I mean, the Christian today, as you see, according to Muslims, they are not true believers. But what about the messengers he sent, the disciple of Jesus, the messengers, to teach, in his name? And they did miracles too. Isn't it? This is a proof that there is a living God. And here the answer. And I will use Google translation to translate the question and the answer. Here it says, actually, let me use Google translation right away so you can read with me in English better than just in Arabic. Sometimes I keep it in Arabic because the English translation, I just open another page in Arabic, so I will get the correct meaning in case the translation is not good. Let us translate to English. And this is the question, this is the fatwa number, this is the question here. The miracle of Jesus are evidence of the sincerity of his prophethood. Usually the title here present the imams, the scholars' opinion. So this is the answer. This is the summary of the answer, to say. When they asked Zakir Naik, how come Jesus have all those miracles and we cannot compare him to Muhammad? Zakir Naik, he said, well, do you know what Jesus said? He said there's many false prophets will come and false messiahs, false messiah, and they will come and they will do miracles.
Matthew, chapter number 24, verse number 24 says that, for there shall arise many false Christ and false prophets, and will do wonders and miracles, and if it were possible, shall deceive the very elect. So Jesus Christ, peace be upon him, says miracle is not the test. They shall
Be my witness. So miracle is not the test. Jesus Christ said so. Their Muslim websites say opposite. The miracle of Jesus are evidence of the sincerity of his prophethood, which means he is truthful. And here it says, we have explained discussing the creation of Jesus with the word be in fatwa number, etc. And by the way, if you go and read the Quran, you will find that this is a very silly statement to say, because Allah did not create Jesus by be, neither Adam. The verse, it says that the similarity of Jesus is the same as Adam. He said to him, be, and he was. But neither Adam in the Quran, neither Jesus created by the word be. In the case of Adam, Allah, he fashioned, he mixed a dirt, and then after he fixed the dirt, he fashioned it as a shape of a man. And then after he shaped it as a shape of a man, like a statues, then he breathed into it. And this is mentioned in many times in the Quran. And this is showing us a contradiction of the Quran, because if we ask the Muslims now, Allah, he said to Adam, be, and he was before he fashioned or after. So look, until now there is no be. So we made clay, which means I mixed dirt with water. This is what the clay is. And then I made a shape. This is number 2. And then after I made the shape, I breathed into him. So this is stage number 3. So when Allah, he said be. If Allah, he said be before those are 3 stages, that means the be of Allah doesn't work. This is stupid. Because why you said be and he was, and you are doing those things. So what those things? And if he say be, after he made those steps, that means this is more stupid, because already he exists. So the Quran is a very silly, stupid book. And when the Muslim, they try to defend their prophet, why he have 0 miracles, you will find that the Muslim, they will come to you, they say, oh, there's miracles. We can show you from the hadith. And, you know, the hadith is obviously, those are fabricated miracles. Why? Because the Quran itself, and the Muslim always, they say to us, anything contradict the Quran, we don't accept, when we should not accept. Well, the Quran says, we refrain from sending miracles to Muhammad. So how Allah, he say we refrain, and remember this is chapter 17, Al-Isra, which the same chapter, you know, if you go in the beginning of the chapter, this is verse number 59, the same chapter is speaking about what is so-called miracle of Muhammad going to the Father Mosque. So how the same chapter is saying that at night Allah, he took Muhammad in the journey to the Father Mosque, and Muslim, they claim even to heaven, but as you see, the Quran doesn't even say the word Muhammad, doesn't even say where, the Father Mosque. What is that? Next week, next street, next city, next town, where is that? They claim that this is Al-Aqsa, but at that time there was no Aqsa. So it's a fiction story. Even Aisha, she said, he was next to me in his body, and Usriya bi ruhihi, he been taken by his spirit only. It was just a false statement. And then if you go to the here, you will see that Muhammad, the Quran, after this is happening, supposedly, saying clearly that, you know what, Allah, he refrained from sending miracles. So obviously, even the journey, the night journey, is refuted by the same chapter. For Allah, he says, we refrain from sending miracles. So if the journey was as true, and then Allah, after that, 59 verses after, says we refrain from sending miracles to Muhammad, that will be a clear contradiction. And the Quran said, if this book is made by other than Allah, you will find a clear contradiction. And you see that in the intro, where Mimi Hijab, he says to Borat, the Quran says, if this is a book made by other than Allah, you will find contradiction. And then Borat, he said to him, well, I have a phone book, and in Arabic, and does not have contradiction, but doesn't mean it's made by Allah. So even the stupid book and the same author, he could not maintain his promise that he will not find contradiction. You see, if I am making a book right now, I can be sure that there's no contradiction. I can read it again and again and again to be sure there's no contradiction. But it doesn't make me God. But this God, Allah, he could not even maintain his promise in the same chapter, as you see. This is chapter 17. The first verse in the chapter says Allah, he took him on a journey at night. And the Muslim, they claim he went to seventh heaven. And this is a miracle. No, not all of us will go to heaven and come back. And the same chapter in verse number 59 says, he never went anywhere. And not only that, you know, the hadith exposed Muhammad more. According to Muhammad, he went to a heaven which where is the Euphrates River. And obviously Muhammad is confused. He learned from the Jews that Euphrates, you know, in the Old Testament, speaking about the rivers of heaven. But this was because the Christian and the Jews believed that the garden of Adam was in earth, not in the seventh sky. So the Sayyid Muhammad, he heard the Christians and the Jews in their Old Testament, it says certain rivers are rivers of heaven. So Muhammad, he carried them and he put them, he claimed that he saw them when he went there. But the idiot, he forgot that the heaven of the Christians, or sorry, Adam, it's a garden. It was on earth. In Christianity, Adam was not in the sky. In Islam, he was. So Muhammad, he went to the seventh heaven, and then he found the Euphrates River, and he found the Nile River, coming from under the tree of Allah. So obviously, if Muhammad, he went on a journey, he did not go to anywhere except Ethiopia. And he went to the north of Syria or the south of Turkey today. So, you know, a foolish man making a statement, claiming that he went there and he found the rivers of heaven, which is in the sky. And you ask yourself, you know, okay, well, why the heaven of the sky, the Nile River, are in the 7 galaxies, yet they are coming down in Ethiopia? I mean, what happened? There's a pipeline? This is all proven to us. You know, who is Muhammad? And just I'm trying to find you more hadith, so you can have more reference and you can love more at the fabricator. And as you see here, Muhammad, he took him. And I was raised to the lotus tree. So according to Muhammad, there's a tree. It's called lotus tree, and this is the tree of Allah. Each the leaves of this tree is so huge, and they are like an ear of an elephant, and they are made of gold. And you can walk underneath of it for like 100 years, or travel underneath of it. I don't know if by foot or by camel, but he said 100 years. And then he said, I was raised to the lotus tree, and I saw 4 rivers, two of which are coming out, and 2 is going in. Those which are coming out were the Nile and Euphrates, and those which going out, were 2 rivers in paradise. Then I was given 3 balls to, like, you know, a stupid story. But here you ask yourself, did Muhammad really went to heaven if he saw the Nile River and Euphrates? This is a question. I will leave it for the Muslims. But the important for us, the miracles of Muhammad does not appear anywhere in the Quran. As you see, the same, like as an example, in the Muslim, they say to you, what about splitting the moon? You go to the moon splitting, you will find nowhere in the Quran it says that there is a miracle, it's called splitting the moon. The Quran say the moon is split asunder, and sign like judgment day is near. Which means Muhammad is a false prophet again. Because he claimed that the moon splitting is a sign of the day of judgment. It doesn't say that Allah he split it. It doesn't say that Muhammad he split it. It doesn't say anyone split it. All what it says, the hour drawn near, and the moon has a cleft as asunder. And this is a false prophecy because, as you see, well, no, you know, you see in Arabic it says, اقتربت. اقتربت in Arabic, here it says, the hour drawn has a drawn near. In Arabic, اقتربت is like very close, like almost here. So he made a false prophecy claiming that that's it. This is the sign. But this is obviously was an eclipse. And it even doesn't even say who did this. So Muhammad, he saw something in the sky. And then you will find this story appear in the hadith claiming that people, they challenged Muhammad to make the moon split. And Muhammad, he made the moon split. He asked his God, and God split the moon. But why the miracle of Jesus appear, all of it in the Quran, is so clear. That Jesus, he can make the blind see. Jesus, but here nowhere it says Muhammad have a miracle. Not a single verse in the Quran says that Muhammad has a miracle, including this one. And not to forget to mention, chapter 17 and chapter the moon. Chapter 17 came long after this chapter. To make it simple, if you go and check there's something called Asbab al-Nuzul. Sorry, the Quran according to Revelation. Quran, most of you maybe do not know that according to Muslims, this is not really the Quran how it came. There's Quran according to Revelation, and there's Quran according to Uthman ibn Affan, which means the Muslim, they changed the way the Quran is. So here in front of us, this is a Muslim Muhammadan page. It says revelation order, which means this is the way the order of the Quran came now. It is totally different from the Quran today. So what the revelation number 1, this is the true revelation supposedly, it is in the Quran today as number 96. See that here is different? So now we have 2 chapters. One is 17, right? And one is the moon chapter 54. So if we check here, where is 17 and where is 54? Let us search and show you with your own eyes. 17 in reality is number 50. Do you see it? Let me zoom in. "17" in reality is number 50. Okay, what about 54? Let us search for 54. The chapter of Al-Qamar is number 37. So do you understand now what happened? So the chapter of the Qamar mentioned the moon splitting, but this is chapter number 37. And chapter 17 is number 50, and this is where it says, we refrain from sending a miracle to Muhammad. So if Muhammad received any miracle, then how in the world, in a chapter came way long after, which is number 50, says Muhammad have 0 miracles. We refrain from giving miracles. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you work in a warehouse, and in your warehouse you say, today we receive 50 tons of cement, and then 6 months after you claim that in this warehouse we never have any cement. So the chapter number 50, which is a chapter of Al-Isra, as we showed you here, in the Quran today it appears as number 17, but in the real Quran appears as number 50. Muhammad, he had 0 miracle, and the Quran confess, according to Muhammad, that Allah, he refrained from sending miracles. He refrained, not he is thinking to do, that's it, I refrain. And we refrain from sending signs only because the men of former generation treated them as false. And he mentioned a funny miracle about she camel, where the people of Thamud, they asked their prophet to make a rock a camel, and Allah, he made the rock a camel. So Allah, he made the rock a camel for someone but Allah refrained to do any miracle for Muhammad. Chapter number is not equal to the date of the divine. Well, there's no divine anyway. I mean, and the funny is that the Muslim, they say that the Quran says that the one who changed the words from their location is doing corruption. And then we find that it is the Muslims who they are changing words, sentences, verses. The whole chapters is moved, not only verses. Not for sure, we can show you verses. Like as an example where Allah said, today I completed your religion for you, I complete my favor upon you. And this is in chapter 5 in the beginning of the Quran. But this is a verse should be at the end of the Quran. So here it says that those who, the one who do corruption, in chapter 4 verse number 46, in chapter 5 verse number 13, in chapter 5 verse 41, it says clearly the one who changed location of verses or words of Allah, they are doing corruption. And then we discover that the Muslims is the one who did that, not us. Now going back to our topic, the Muslims say the Arabic name for moon is Al-Qamar, not Allah. Well, we can refute that easy, you know, because if you type the word, you know, the words is used in Arabic. You know, Arabic is not really an Arabic. Arabic is a mix, is a collection of languages. But I will show you an example of other name. There is words used for the moon as a moon, and there is word used for the god moon. So as an example, in chapter 2, verse number 185, it says, Shahru Ramadan. Shahru Ramadan. The Muslim translation says the month of Ramadan. The fact the word Shahr mean the moon. And you can open the Hebrew dictionary right now, any one of you, and you can search for the word Shahr, and this is the word Shahr, and you will see it mean the moon. So the one who witnessed the moon of Ramadan, and this is what the pagan people used to do, they believe that Ramadan is a special month, and they used to go, like the Sabian, they start their fasting in the city of Haran, and or in that different city, and then they go to welcome the new moon. This is like a, let us say, God he have 12 moons, and each time, each festivity have its own moon. This is why you will see the Quran says Allah he have 12 moons. In chapter 9 verse number 36, it says, verily the number of months, and this is false translation, the real Arabic word or Hebrew word shahr, which is mean the numbers of moons for Allah are 12 moons. Yeah, don't change topic, guys. I appreciate you if we don't jump from topic to topic, because focus with me. I mean, a Jew hide behind a tree. Who care about now? This is our topic. Focus with me. Otherwise, you are disturbing. You are not helping. I think as an adult, we have a topic. If you make a comment about the topic, I will consider it. If it's not, I might even block you. So the number of the moons of Allah, they are 12 months as 12 moon, and the word shahr is absolutely mean moon, and this is why you see the Muslim said in chapter 2 verse number 185, the Quran says, so whoever of you witness sight, you see, you cannot sight the month, but you can sight the moon, correct? And even the Muslim between their brackets says, sight the crescent of the first night, the crescent. So the moon is not the word shahr present the crescent moon, not just a moon. And there is the word qamar, usually present the full moon. This is why the other verse says, in shaqqa al-qamar, because it was full and it split. Shahr is about the crescent moon. So it is specific word used for a specific look of the moon. And actually we can search right now in Google. I'm typing in Arabic. As usual, you know, like sometimes you type, you think you're done, and then you look at the screen, oops, I was typing in the wrong language. The word shahr, Hebrew. Let us see. Google, give me shahr. I want shahr, not with the not with the A. Let us see here. Okay. Let us see. Let us see. Let us see. Yeah, I found the answer, but I want to open like a official Hebrew. Belim. I don't know what this website is, but we will use it. Maybe it's a Jewish website. It's called Belim. Belim. So the word shahr, as you see here, or sahar, the same word. I mean, like in some languages, depend in the Hebrew or in the Aramaic, sometimes the same becomes sha as shay, as a pronunciation, but it's the same word. So as you see, it is the moon, you know, and specifically, actually, it's the crescent moon. And this is why here, even Muslim translation, they are saying the crescent moon. They are not just saying the moon. It is the crescent moon. Here, there's a different book. It's called the Medieval Jewish. I don't know. I'm just trying to find a dictionary or something. Yeah. Anyway, you can search yourself and you will find it. So as you see, the Quran, the important for us now today, that the Quran confirmed that Muhammad, he have 0 miracles. However, in the Hadith, Muslim, they claim that he has many. But we see all over the Quran, people asking Muhammad, how come you don't have any sign from your Lord? When Zakir Naik, they ask him, how come Muhammad, I mean, we cannot compare him to the Messiah. Well, he said, well, the Messiah, he says, this is not the test, because there's many false prophets, they will come, and they will do miracles, you know. But that will be a problem for the Muhammadan. Because the Messiah is talking about anyone who don't agree with Jesus. Even if he do miracles, he is a false prophet. And that will make Muhammad a false prophet. If the Muslim, they will claim that what Jesus' teaching was in total agreement with Muhammad, then they need to explain to us why the Quran in many places says to the Christians, why you are worshiping Jesus, in the same time saying to the Christians, we approve the book between your hands. If I go right now and type here the word, and I will do it in front of you, بين يديهم, you will find the Muslim translation. They try to hide it. بين يديهم mean between their hands, or between, or بين يديه, or بين يديهم. بين يديه here, as you see, it's mean, and this is how Allah He sent supposedly the book, blessing and believing in what is between His hand. And this is a book we send down, blessing and believing what is between His hands. Okay, if we click at the translation, you will see that the word between His hands disappear. There's no between His hands. It says confirming the revelation, and then they add which came before it. But nowhere here it says which came before it. Nowhere it says confirming revelation. It says believing in what is between His hand. And you can use this in Google Translation and you will see it. Yadayhi simply mean, the word yadayhi I mean hands, or two hands. If I go right now to Google Translation, I will copy the word in the front of your eyes, and I will take it to Google, peace be upon him. Let us zoom out so you can see right away how the translation works. And we will pause the word. See? Here, we cannot find the word hands. It's gone. We cannot find the word between His hands. It's gone. And this is the case for all those verses. Look how many times. All those verses says, مصدقا لما بين يديه, مصدقا لما بين يديه, لما بين يديه, ما بين أيديهم, etc. here. You know? And actually, here you will see that how they lie. بين أيديهم here, it says what is between their hand. If I click on it, I'm sure they will translate it as what is between their hands. Why? Because this one is not talking about Jesus, so they will give you an honest translation. Let us try. Does it say between his hands? Let us see. He knows the creation behind the compass. Even here they took the between His hand. Where is the? It knows what He knows what is between their hands. I don't see it. He sighs and in sleep. And he's okay. Well, where is the between His hands? Even here they took it off. That's really stupid. Huh? Let's change the translator. Maybe that will work. I mean, here they don't have a reason to do it, because this one, it shouldn't be hurting the Muhammadan to give the, the correct answer, right? So why they are changing everything? But anyway, I mean, you can go and try. As an example here, مصدقا لما بين يديه, chapter 2, verse number 97. And this is a new translation. You will see there's nothing between His hands. I don't see it. It says here confirming what came before it, but this is not really what the Quran is saying. And they are adding Torah and Gospel. This is supposedly what it meant. But in Arabic it says confirming or believing in what bit is between His hands, His two hands. If we take it as it is, take it to Google, and again this is chapter 2, verse number 97. We will see here, let us do that. Translation is not accurate. It should be between بين his, بين يديه, between His hands. So, and you can do the same for all those verses, and you will see all of them, they are continue saying between His hand. As an example, chapter 3, verse number 3, it says نزل عليك الكتاب بالحق مصدقا لما بين يديه وأنزل التوراة والإنجيل. We take it, we see what it says. You will see it says confirming what came before it, but this is false translation. It says confirm what is between his hand. What is between his hand? So Muhammad himself, he have the Torah and he have the gospel between his hand, not between their hands too. We show you other verses saying between their hands. This time it's between the hand of Muhammad. And if we take again, copy, we go to Google, and this is chapter 3, verse number 3. We put it there. You see it? And this is the Arabic.
لما بين يديه.
And you can go, there's Islam.Quran, something like that. You can move the mouse over the word, and you will hear the same exact word. لما بين يديه. Even here it says to you how to say it, how to pronounce it in Arabic. So obviously the Muhammadan, they do their best trying to hide the truth that the Messiah in the time of Muhammad was worshipped, and Muhammad, he accepted that the Messiah is God. So what happened? How the Messiah was God for Muhammad, and how Muhammad was saying in different places, the Messiah is just a man, he is just a prophet. That it doesn't make sense. Either the Quran, written in different stages, somebody did anything later, or the Quran, written in different stages, but in the time of Muhammad, let's say, and Muhammad is behind it, but Muhammad, he changed his mind. If you go in the Quran, you will see all those verses speaking about confirming what is between his hands. But this is the same person who said that the Christian, they say that the Messiah is Allah. So how the Messiah, he is Allah for the Christians at the time of Muhammad, and how Muhammad, he confirmed what is between their hands. Obviously, this is mean that what is between their hands is simply that the Messiah is God. Now, the Muslims here, they are using Allah because this is the name of their God. In chapter 5, verse number 17, it says that those who say, they became in disbelief, those who say that Allah is the Messiah. And here you notice again that the Muslim, or Muhammad, is making a silly mistake, because we as a Christian, we don't believe that the Messiah is the Father. And if Muhammad is warning the Muslim about Trinity, well, if the Messiah, according to the Christian, is the same as Allah, so who is the third and who is the second? Because now we eliminated two names. If we assume that the word Allah, he presents the Father here. So if the Messiah is Allah and the Messiah is the Father, then who is the second person and who is the third person? You will notice that in different verse, Muhammad, he says that Allah, he told Isa, did you say to your people to worship me and my mother? But that will not solve the problem, because now we know that the second person is Mary. Who is the third person? And this is absolutely false, because no Christian believes that Mary is part of the Trinity. Now, I know some potatoes, they might say to you, oh, the Catholic. No, the Catholic, they don't believe in that. That's stupid lie. The Catholic, the Protestant, the Orthodox believe Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. As simple as that. That is the only divine we believe. One God. So Muhammad is very confused. And then Muhammad, he says something here very stupid. He says, if Allah, he wish to destroy Jesus and his mother. And he mentioned his mother. Why? Because the silly Muhammad, he thinks that we Christians, they consider Mary as part of the Trinity. If he wish to destroy them, he can destroy them. But this is very stupid. Was Mary exist in the time of Muhammad to destroy Mary? And was Jesus in the top of the earth, or he is in heaven according to Muhammad? Are we following? Are you people sleeping or what? I don't even see the text moving. How it says, if Allah if Allah wish, he can destroy Mary and Jesus in the top of the earth. But according to the stupid Muhammad, Jesus is in heaven, not in the earth, and Mary is dead. So destroying who exactly? I remember I was like maybe 12 years old when there is a sheikh. He come to ask my dad a favor, and I came to him, and I have the Quran in my hand, and I told him, I have a question, you know. He said, oh, you again, troublemaker boy. What this time? What? You know, he's a nice guy. Troublemaker. What? Yeah, show me. You know. And then he got his glasses. He's old. He got his glasses and he did read it. And he said, yeah, what is the problem with it? I said, where is Jesus now? He said, he's in heaven, my son. I said, okay, where is Mary in the time of Prophet Muhammad was? He said, she was dead. So I said, so how he's going to destroy them in earth if both of them, they are not there? He looked at me like he took like a 30-second you know, silence, and then he said to my dad, okay, I think it's time to go. You know, please let me know what will happen, and you know, I will. Okay, what the heck? He did not answer. Second time he came. I came to him, you know. He did not answer too. He said, I asked you last time. I called him uncle, actually, because, you know, like in the Middle East, you have to be polite and you call all people uncle. So I said, uncle, you did not answer me. He said, my son, those topics are too big for you. It's too big. This is hard for you. So it said, just give me any answer you want. Don't worry. You know, you know, and he said, this is a question. You are the one who told me that you are the one. He said, like, I was alone with him. My dad was not there. So he said to me, this is the question you made? You are really asking the question, or somebody asked you to ask me? Huh? I said, no, I am me, you know. He looked at me like, what? He's expecting that somebody, he asked me to ask the question. Like, this is not a question of a kid. But this is how silly, how stupid this Quran is. And how that will prove that Jesus is not God if you don't do it. I mean, I can say to you now, if Allah is God, well, if Jesus wish, he can destroy him. He can destroy Allah. What does that really prove? I mean, talk is cheap, right? I can say exactly the same sentence to the Muhammadan. I can say, well, if the Messiah he want, he can destroy your Allah, he can destroy the Kaaba, he can destroy, but he did not. But what make it more stupid, that neither the Messiah is in the earth, and neither Mary is there. And Mary, supposedly, according to Islam, by that time, is dust. 600 years after Jesus. So Allah will, the word yuhlik here, you know, yuhlik, from coming from the word halaka, which means he died. He will cause them to die. So the one who made the Quran, he is a very silly, his IQ is so low, is so stupid. But the problem that when most of people they read, they don't really read deeply. If you read the verse after it, you will see how even Muhammad getting more silly. He says, both the Jews and the Christian, they say, we are the children of Allah. For sure, they are not saying that. We are children of God. And his beloved ones say, why then he punish you for your sins? Aren't you human like the rest? So the silly Muhammad, obviously, he is mental. He know nothing about Christianity and Judaism. And he thought that when the Christians, they say, well, children of God, they mean they are the same as Jesus. So he's questioning them. Aren't you human? But what does this have to do with the Christian and Jews saying? The Jews, they say, we are beloved by God, and we are his children. That doesn't mean that he's their real father, like a biological father. The silly Muhammad, because he is a low IQ, shallow in the knowledge, false prophet, mentally ill person, he think that they are claiming to be children of God, but he's asking them, but you are human, aren't you? And this is telling us that the one who made these verses is a stupid mental person, cannot be God. Going back to our miracles, when Jesus, he resurrect people from death, the Muslims, they claim, well, Allah, he gave him that power. Prove it. Here we go. Allah, he claimed that he will destroy Jesus and his mother, but Jesus, his mother was already dead, and Jesus in heaven, not in the earth. And the Quran say clearly, in the earth, from the top of the earth. So in order for this verse to be true, it have to be happening in the time of Jesus, while Jesus is alive in the earth and Mary is alive in the earth. But this is here saying, surely disbelieve those who say that Allah is the Messiah. If Allah want to destroy them, he will destroy them from the top of the earth, which means they are still alive, which means they are still in the top of this earth, and that will destroy all the statement of Muhammad. So when we ask, the title here says, can Allah make the blind see? The answer, no. If you remember, there's a chapter that's called Abasa. Abasa wa tawalla. A blind man, he came to Muhammad. What Muhammad did to him, you can open any interpretation you want. Any Islamic interpretation. You will see that Muhammad, he gave him a face. He kicked him out from his house because he was speaking to the rich people of Quraysh, which means the tribe of Muhammad. The man is coming to ask questions. He never asked Muhammad to make a miracle. Why? Anyone think about it. Why the blind man, when he saw Jesus, as we see in John 9, he said to him, Lord, I want to see. I mean, what kind of request is that? A blind man is begging for food, maybe, for some money, maybe, for shelter, maybe, for some mercy. He's asking to see. He's not asking for a sandwich. The reason the blind man is asking Jesus, because Jesus known that nothing is impossible for him. The blind man is not asking Muhammad for a miracle because he is known that he is nobody. And obviously, if Muhammad cannot do it, that means his God cannot do it. So look what happened when the blind man came to Jesus in John chapter 9. Let us open it. Give me a second.